Rigging cars for UKnight Part 2. In this section we'll cover the adding the dashboard UI and the kinematic components for when the player is driving the car so that they reach into the right spots with their hands while doing different actions. Let's see here. So we had deleted the component out of the scene hierarchy over here so that we can drag the prefab that we just created into the scene so that we can be sure that that's the prefab we're working on instead of the original. Uh, Something that changed by creating this prefab is the example assembly game object that we started with as the original prefab has moved 2 game objects deep into a further into its own hierarchy. This was so that the intelligent traffic system rigger can center the car. Um, every component with a rigid body and basically the wheel colliders and the wheel game objects all facing in specific directions is all very important. So we don't mess with that because the intelligent traffic system did it nice and easy for us. We do need to click on the example assembly to game objects deep, however, to get back to our car setup tool. You can, move this onto the top object if you want, or leave it here. It doesn't matter. It'll work in both spots. If you don't like clicking too deep to get to it, yeah, you can move it onto this object, but it's going to be pretty full of other components, so I actually recommend leaving it on example assembly. Go back to your little gear icon here, right click it to get the context menu, and the next step is the next one down. They're in order. Add dash UI. Dash UI popped up there in the seat, and you see that the grab handles are way down here. Oops. That. Wrong grab handle. Grab handle's right in the middle because I've got it set to center. If the UI pops up and the grab handles are way down here, you're having a hard time positioning it because I can't grab the grab handles and see it at the same time. Come up here to your tool handle option and change it from pivot to center. See it put it right in the middle of the UI there. We can move it up and slide it in front of the dashboard here. If you are feeling lazy and you just want to slap it into place, that's fine. There's some other cars I am looking at adding to the project, and they actually have a already working dials and gauges and everything that I'll be able to work with where it has the components all move. However, if you do want to put these into place and everything, you just open up the dashboard UI. You can't grab these and drag them around here. But if you do go to like the analog tachometer, all the components are inside of it, parented nicely in there so that you can grab the tachometer and move it over top of the other tachometer if you want. Same with your speedometer. There. Looks terrible, but hey, there it is. Move this nitro slider, which is going to become our gas gauge. So, gear over here a little bit too. Move that up, make it more visible. I like to put the speed right here. Sometimes I put the gear there. Anyways, yeah, that's usually more messing around than I would have done with it, but you can see that it is customizable to a certain extent. Then we're going to go back to our example assembly here, go back to our gear icon, bring up the context menu, and now we'll add our kinematic components. You just go in order here. So add kinematic components. So with this one, make sure that you move this whole component as a game object. Move the whole hierarchy. Don't go in here and move the steering wheel. Resist that temptation, because all this stuff is already pretty much in the right spot if you just put the steering wheel in the right spot. So we're still on center, which is good because, yeah, see, we got that going on again. Since removing the steering wheel, center puts it right on the steering wheel. So you move your steering wheel into position. Keep in mind the player has to fit in here too, by the way. So got the steering wheel in position. That means everything else is in position. You see the foot pedal positions are good. Our steering wheels spots are good. The thing you'll have to change is here you find your target hand shift. That's this one. Move it down. Right in front of your shifter. You just move it right in front. You can see from the steering wheel over here that it actually kind of lines like the wrist up with the spots. So if you imagine his wrist being here and his hand will just kind of float over top of the shifter there. So once you got that in the steering wheel in the right spot and you've adjusted your hand shifter, everything else should already be kosher. Come here to the topmost game object, the one you had selected when you were moving it around, and just check, make sure rigid here says the name of your prefab there. If it doesn't, grab your prefab, the topmost object here, and just drag it right there, and it will find the rigid body on there and slap it in there. The script should do it for you. Can't see a scenario where it doesn't, but there you go. Let's see, so that's done. And that takes care of this part. Oh, wait. Haha. Down here you see my warning I wrote myself. So you adjust the position using the steering wheel, and don't forget to delete the old steering wheel. Let's see, do they have one? Yes, steering wheel. Does it break the prefab instance? Yes, because we're going to be updating it again anyways. So now we have a much nicer steering wheel anyways. Alright, so then you come back up here, you click your topmost object in the prefab, and you click apply. You've now updated your prefab and got yourself on to the next step. So I will see you in the next video.